Hi everyone, my name is Trevor Gordon. I work with Epilepsy Ontario, the manager of the e-commerce online clothing store Epilepsy Shop. Epilepsy Shop is www.epilepsyshop.org. Today we are going to have a chat with Shaun Curtis. Shaun Curtis is the graphic designer for Epilepsy Shop. As we wait for Shaun to join us, I want to read off some of the highlights about Shaun. So Shaun Curtis is the president of S.O Casual Inc. Shaun is a graduate of Sheridan College, obviously recognized in Canada internationally for excellence in business, visual arts and design, digital media, and communications. Laid the foundation that have his start as the graphic designer. He's a graphic designer. He's been a graphic designer at Rogers Sportsnet, one of Canada's leading sports channels. He then moved on to Raptors NBA TV, as well as he also did Leafs TV as a motions designer. Wow, a lot of highlights. Shaun also won a silver award for art direction and design for informational graphics at the 2007 Broadcast Design Awards North America for his work on behalf of the Orlando Magic. Wow, he's had the opportunity to open up two NBA arenas, the Amway Center in 2010 for the Orlando Magic and Barclays Center in 2012 for the Brooklyn Nets. I, of course, know Shaun as my friend. I met him in early 2000, I think 1999, when we both worked at the Bay Square One in Mississauga. So I'm hoping Shaun can join us if he is available, if he can send me a request. And to those that are watching, Shaun is the graphic designer for Epilepsy Shop. You can go to Epilepsy Shop by going to epilepsyshop.org. And there is Shaun Curtis now as I fix myself in the box here. Shaun, as I was reading your bio and I was stuttering and brutalizing some of your bio, I mean, I took a skim of your bio. There's like way more highlights in your bio. Like,
some days I'm kind of like, wow, I've done a lot. Most days I feel like I haven't done enough. So, it's just a matter of perspective.
Right. I mean, let's rewind a little bit. Like, I met you at the Bay Square One. Do you remember any of those days?
I do. Okay. They were some of my fun days. We did a lot of crazy stuff working at the Bay. We've done fashion shows. We've done late nights doing different what's that thing called when we were doing the counting all the stuff, inventory. We did inventory together. And we did a lot of crazy stuff, man, back in the Bay days were good.
And I feel, shout out to both of us, but I mean, I feel a lot of cool people came out of the Bay that are doing big things, like Pooja, who's on CP24.
She is on CP24.
She was the shy person in the jewelry department that never wanted to go on television. And look at her now. And then you yourself always had the fashion and the graphic design at a Sheridan. And look what you're doing. So it's good to see good people came from the Bay Square One.
There we go.
Let me throw some questions at you. You have many clients, and I assume each of your clients has a special meaning to you, a special importance to you. What makes designing for Epilepsy Shop special to you?
I think it's the fact that it's a cause that a lot of people might not totally always recognize. And, it's come to the forefront, particularly because of, some bad things in terms of, people not recognizing that somebody might have epilepsy when they're dealing with them. And just being a support system, right? I definitely like being a support system for groups and causes. And this one I thought was a really good cause that I could try to tie my name to and my company's name to.
Which, by the way, people that have watched me do these interviews before, I apologize. I don't do it sometimes in a good order. If we would, I could rewind a couple steps. Like, talk to us about your company, your business, and highlight some of your clients. Like, what made you start your brand, your business, and sort of what are your goals with it, and how did Epilepsy Shop sort of fit into that?
So I started my company, I want to say close to almost 20 years ago with my business partner, Owen Cobham. And we started it, oddly enough, wanting to do a coffee table magazine. And we started with that, and we kind of were like all over the place trying to get all those things situated. And we actually did put out a magazine, or at least a like something like a magazine. Um, but then we started getting asked to do like random graphical jobs, and it kind of snowballed from there. So it was like, all right, well, this magazine thing was fun while we were trying to do it. These other jobs are actually paying us right now, and so we kind of kept with that. And we've been going strong from, I think I want to say 2004 is when we started the company. And and yeah, so it's been about 20 years, man. It's crazy when I think about that.
That just sparked a memory. Didn't we do something with starting from scratch with your magazine? I just got some sort of random flashback, or maybe I'm combining memories of something else. But when you mentioned your magazine, I thought there was something with starting from scratch at Flow
Uh,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Maybe I'm
yeah. You came with me, I think, to shoot an interview that we did with Start from Scratch. Yes.
okay. Thank God that you remember that, because I thought I was like making up a core memory in my mind there, but
No, 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 no.
there was
We
something
definitely
there
did that.
with
We definitely
starting
did
from
that.
scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, let's to those that are watching, like, I mean, you and I know the story of how Epilepsy Shop kind of got created, but just to rewind back to November 2020, like, I remember I had reached out to you because I knew you always had this talent of graphic design and all your clients. I remember reaching out to you specifically because anytime I would Google epilepsy shirts and merch, I saw some really cool shirts out there, but it wasn't necessarily the proceeds weren't necessarily going to the right avenues. Like, look,
Hmm.
we're in a free world. Like, people are allowed to make money, but I always thought it would be great if we could come up with an online store that the proceeds actually go to epilepsy organizations.
Hmm.
So I reached out to you, and I don't think you even hesitated. You right away said, "Yeah, let's figure it out." And you were there in the early stages. So take us back to maybe that early stage when I first approached you and your thought
Yeah.
process.
No, you definitely called, and when I got the call, I was extremely honored. Um, Again, it's not like every day that you get a organization calling you to ask you to help them out. And so when I saw the avenue in terms of being able to make shirts and create shirts for that cause, I definitely thought it was something that would be fun to do. And it has been fun to do. Like, the crazy thing is when I look at where our shirts started to where they are now, we progressed a lot. We've gotten definitely way more graphical, and we've definitely maintained a ability to create some cool stuff that everybody can wear.
Right. Well, that actually leads to my next question. Like, what would you say goes into making a shirt for Epilepsy Shop? Explain the process from start to finish without revealing too many of our secrets. Like, more high level. Like, what's the process in the sense of, what the ideas in your brain, and then getting it out there, and then getting it out to the consumer.
Yeah, no. Well, I do remember at one point we would always do a group chat and kind of like springboard some ideals. Once we got to a point where we had the ideal kind of formulated, then I would basically go out and try to build something up that looked cool. And then I would normally send you guys a bunch of different ideas. And what
You
up,
got
DQ?
fans. You got
Hey, man,
fans.
that's my homie. That's my homie. You need to put me on your show too. But yeah, no, it was definitely interesting to do a collaborative process with you guys and figure out what worked and what didn't work. Because obviously you are in the industry, you know what shirts people like and dislike, and then once we got to a point where we kind of settled on an ideal, we kind of then would flesh it out and build something up, and then put it out to the masses.
Which is a perfect segue. When we worked on some of those early ideas, the one thing we all agreed on is that we kind of wanted to have our own version of the Nike swoosh, the
Hmm.
just do it. So for those that are watching and you have that shirt from Epilepsy Shop, basically most all the shirts have like a heart on it. Well, what was sort of your thought process in the heart and getting that on every shirt?
I wanted to create something that was branded epilepsy. And I figured if we could create some form of logo for Epilepsy Ontario or Epilepsy Canada, basically, that it would be greatly appreciated to be something really cool on the arm that once they saw it, they knew is this has to be an epilepsy shirt, and it has to be kind of something that goes with your brand. And I feel like we've kind of built that up over the last 3 4 years. Um, Now it's trying to get it global as opposed to just Canada. And I think that is the next chapter of our journey.
What do you think? And I know you and I are biased a little bit to this, but what do you think stands out about Epilepsy Shop? Speaking from a graphic designer point of view, I mean, again, we started this in November 2020. Those that are just joining us to this live, we're talking to Shaun Curtis. He's our graphic designer for Epilepsy Shop. And ultimately, he's the man behind all of his designs. But what would you say stands out about Epilepsy Shop in your opinion?
I think our shirts are made for the people, right? Like we look and kind of scour to see what people are interested in wearing, and then we curate it from there, right? Like when Purple Day happened a couple years ago, we saw a need for a shirt that kind of signified something like that, and we started coming up with the brain art stuff. We started coming up with shirts that had different meanings to them, right? I think every shirt that we've put out has had some symbolic or verbal meaning to it that allows it to resonate with the people that are wearing it.
Let me put you on the spot here because I know you and I get this question a lot. What do you factor from you as a graphic designer? How much input do you take from the public? Because we get emails all the time. Oh, I have a shirt idea. I have a shirt idea. I have a shirt idea. I mean, at the end of the day, we might all have ideas, but to actually put it on paper, that's where the talent comes in. You being a graphic designer. So maybe this is too funny of a question, but would you compare it to like being a DJ in a club and having people keep coming up to you to make a request? Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
what's your thought
Pretty
process
much.
about getting ideas?
Pretty much. I think definitely when we're sourcing ideals for shirts, it is always great to ask the people what they want. You gotta give the people what they want, Trevor. And so when we put that out there for them to then come back and tell us, hey, we want a shirt that resonates with us and has X, Y, and Z in it, then that is something that we are going to definitely take from them, and we will put it out and give it to them with something really cool.
DJ Curtis, as one of our audience members has shed it out. DJ Curtis.
I'd probably be the worst DJ, so I'm gonna leave that to him.
So, but basically, what you're saying on record is that we're at least open to feedback of
100%.
potential shirt ideas, but it's not necessarily something, we're not 100% committing to using your idea, but, maybe the odd shirt wording or something like that, maybe that idea might not be what we do, but it could
It
inspire
could
another idea.
definitely springboard, and it's definitely a starting block, and those type of ideals are the best because, as I said, like if we get 100 different ideals and can kind of filter them down to something that works, uh, I love being able to kind of sift through the comments to find something that works that we can then build on top of.
For the for the many people that are watching that have always wanted to start an online store, whether it be a clothing store or any sort of e-commerce website, what advice would you give to them? Like what was the process? Because when you worked with us, it looked like you were a pro with all this. You kind of walked
Oh,
Paul
I
Raymond.
flew by the seat of my pants, and I still am. So my biggest thing is, you're not going to know everything, and you're not going to have all the answers. But if you surround yourself with smart people, and if you allow yourself to be humble in the sense that, I don't know everything, then you'll be able to take your lumps easier, right? Because it's not going to be easy when you first start out. It's not going to be automatic that you're going to get, 1,000 sales of whatever. You gotta come up with a really cool ideal, hold on to it, and make it the best that you can make it, and then put it out to the world and see what happens.
What are your short-term and long-term goals, not just with Epilepsy Shop, but with your business specifically? Like those that are watching will give you a follow. They want to see what you're doing in addition to Epilepsy Shop. Like what's in store for you and your brand?
Well, the big thing is, I probably should have pitched the So Casual Instagram page, which is So Casual Graphics. Um, and so, really and truthfully, like, go there, follow me there. But it's one of those things where I feel like once my goals right now are to get my company out there as much as possible, um, show that we can build really high budget stuff with being a very small company, and we're just as good as everybody else, right? And that has always been the maintain thing that we've been trying to do, is show everybody that we can definitely hang with the big boys, and we have. I've opened two arenas, so I know I can do some pretty cool things. But it's just literally hanging with the big boys and being able to compete with them.
I mean, Sean, I know you well. Like you're a young guy, so this question I'm asking you is not in the sense sending you off here, but like what would you say are your highlights if you look back at your career so far? Like it's 20 years, you're still a young guy. What has stood out when you look back at your past 20 years? Any
Uh,
highlights?
uh,
Any?
yeah, highlights. There's a plethora, man. Like, there's nothing like standing in the middle of an arena, with nobody in it, and watching your stuff on boards, being able to work on stuff that you might be working on it for about 3 months. The crowd only sees it for 30 seconds, right? And but in that 30 seconds that you're hearing the crowd watch it, it's a beautiful thing. And so I think that the highlights are definitely getting to see people's reactions when we create stuff. And I definitely love seeing the Instagram posts with people wearing our shirts, and people making great comments about how the shirts affected them. And I think that that by itself is a blessing in disguise. So, love it.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that because I mean, I'm not the graphic designer. You're the one that puts all the love into creating these shirts. I have a very small part of that, but like even for me, watching and being part of the process on my side of it, I get it's just exciting to watch like an idea on paper turn into a shirt, then turn into literally. I was at a family and youth conference for one of our local epilepsy organizations and seeing people just walking around like so matter of fact with this merchandise. You never get 100% used to seeing that. It's really cool to see that. So I can only imagine how it must feel for you because you're the actual one that makes the shirt. I see a couple of things on the back end, but it's just kind of cool to see literally, you know, I mean, I don't have children, you do, but like that's like my kind of cool thing is seeing some of these ideas kind of grow and these shirts will outlive the both of us unless AI figures it out. But like, like it's just kind of cool to see these shirts sort of evolve and live. I
Yeah,
don't know.
No, 100%. And I think that it is on us to keep creating, to keep pushing the narrative that these shirts are out here to help people. They're definitely to look cool, but they're also here to lend a hand and be a voice for the voiceless and allow them to see themselves in other people, right? Like when you see a shirt that says "Screw Epilepsy," it's a statement, right? And so that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create moments. We're trying to create feelings, and those feelings will hopefully create conversations.
I'm going to ask everyone for the recorded broadcast a trivia question. What school did Shaun go to? What school did Shaun go to? If you guessed it correctly, the first person to guess it will give you a free shirt from Epilepsy Shop. So that's my first little trivia here that I'm doing. For everyone else that doesn't get the question, but you should because you watched the broadcast, we'll give out a discount code of 001. Everyone that uses discount code 001 during checkout, you'll save 15%, which is basically you're saving tax, which is great. But again, if you're just watching now, we're talking to Shaun Curtis. He is the graphic designer behind epilepsyshop.org. Is there anything else that you would like to leave us with as we wrap up here?
Um, Go buy some more shirts. That is definitely needed. And you can always follow us at So Casual Graphics, So Casual Graphics. And my biggest thing is once people start wearing the shirts, I feel like it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I love seeing it, and I want to see some more.
Click on the hashtag Epilepsy Shop. If you click on the hashtag Epilepsy Shop, those watching, you'll literally see a flood of people across Canada and the US that are wearing this shirt. And it's kind of cool. I don't know if Shaun, if you personally have ever clicked on that hashtag, but it's just kind of fun. When you click on the hashtag, it's just flooded with people all over Canada, the US, just wearing merch that you've created. So I thank you for everything that you do on the back end. I don't think people realize the hours and hours, not just in the sense of creating the shirt, it's separate, a lot of work in that, but just in the day-to-day meetings that we have and all the back and forth of just, the technical side of the back end that we've dealt with merchandise, colors and availability, roadblocks of us not being able to get purple, and that being one of our colors. But you've always been a calm, cool, collective guy ever since I've met you in 1999. When I'm letting little things bother me, you've taught me about don't sweat the small things.
And
So
we try
I
not to.
appreciate you as a friend and, of course, as a colleague work-wise. You're awesome. Thank you for everything you do with your branding. It'd be great if we could make millions of dollars from the shop, but more importantly, what you're doing is you're helping create conversations with what you're doing. I thank you for everything you're doing for the epilepsy community.
Hey, man, and thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to do so. So, as I said, I look forward to continuing this journey. And everybody that's on this live right now, please go out and buy a shirt, support the cause, epilepsyshop.org, and please, know that what we're doing is something special and from the heart. And we want people to enjoy the shirts that we're making.
All right. Well, thank you, Shaun. Again, we were talking to Shaun Curtis, graphic designer behind Epilepsy Shop, epilepsyshop.org. And Shaun, you've just inspired GQ here to buy a shirt. Use discount code 001 to save 15%. Everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you, Shaun.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.